After the violence in the northern region, very many gatekeepers and elders are coming out to speak against the atrocities committed by the UPDF. And among the elders is OGENGA LATIGO.
Gulu, which is the capital of Acholi sub-region, is not the position of Acholi people. We are decent people, and whoever wants to rub blood in our mouths for things that we don't want to do, this is very regrettable.
OGENGA LATIGO is the former opposition leader, so he has the quorum to comment in the politics of the Acholi sub-region. He's among the senior politicians in the region. What happened in the northern region, especially in Gulu, was despicable, uncouth, and backward. We must be tolerant to divergent views, even if they are brought to our areas. And I think politics was played because Salim Saleh is a resident there, so they want to show they will fight tooth and nail for the Gulu district to be delivered to the NRM. The Minister of Justice, who is now an extension of the dictatorship, came also to play PR. But what happened in Gulu, even if you are from the NRM, it was despicable. So as very many people are coming out to speak, the purpose of this video have come out to dissect the statements which were made by OGENGA LATIGO. Okay? So that we can learn. But if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. I do such videos which are more fruitful for our nation. So, OGENGA LATIGO is the former leader of opposition. For him to come out and speak against the atrocities, not only him, we saw the Catholic bishop. I did a video about that. We've seen elders from actually speaking against it. Because first of all, a candidate being beaten in a certain region, first it brings out tribal tension, but also uncertainties. It is the truth. Okay, so OGENGA LATIGO speaking, his words must be taken seriously. Because we are in the 21st century, how can you tell me that in the 21st century, a presidential candidate can be blocked from speaking in a certain district? And it's not only Gulu. He has been blocked. In Iganga, they blocked him. He had to go back there. In Fort Porto, he was blocked. Chenjojo and I think Bunyangabo, he was blocked. In the previous election of 2021, BOBI WINE missed out on, I think, on 76 districts. And it has been the trend even during West, they would miss out on almost 65. So this regime does not want, it prepares an election, but it doesn't want a contestation, which is unfortunate. Before I proceed, let me first play with that tape when OGENGA LATIGO was speaking about this. Here's the tape.
The incidents of Gulu should not be looked at in isolation, because the day before and in Noya, the NUP candidate was denied opportunity to address any rally in that district. And similarly, when he addressed a rally in the next district of ours, he could not go to the border station of Elego. But what the police calls regrettable is something which was premeditated, because on Thursday, the offices of NUP in Gulu was vandalized. And then there is a lady, I'm told she's even a councillor candidate, who earlier than Saturday sent out a video where they said they are mobilizing borders and those people we call Agu in Gulu to make sure that Chagulanyi and NUP don't participate in the campaigns in Gulu. It is a very sad thing, because the videos of that lady is there. She will tell the police who organized them. There are stories of these borders and the people who were made to harass people and even vandalize shops. They were gathered in a place in Gulu, a church place. They were given 30,000 shillings. But what disappoints us is that what happened in Gulu Gulu, which is the capital of Acholi sub-region, is not the position of Acholi people. We are decent people, and whoever wants to rub blood in our mouths for things that we don't want to do, this is very regrettable. The police can say they are going to investigate. Just arrest that woman as a first evidence. We have not had a history of violence. The politics of Acholi had never been violent. By the way, by the time Amin took over power, there were 2 Acholis who were opposition members in parliament. My father-in-law, Gino Bonyo, and Elijah Latim, who was leader of the opposition in parliament, with Bianyima. While at the same time, we had people who were UPCs, and we lived very peacefully. For us, the Acholis are largely very intelligent people. And so they will start with argument before they fight. The thing you don't want to do to an Acholi is insult their mother or something like that. But to argue for or against a political body, and before you even listen to them, you disrupt their campaigns and then claim that there were threats. What were the threats? Coming from Adjumani, how do you end up in Kitgum Road? I mean, I think, and by the way, let the country know that I shared my concern with very senior people who have been in government, and they all agree that what happened in Gulu is regrettable. We are prepared to leave it at that, but nobody should repeat it. And by the way, if the campaigns allows a presidential candidate to move, that priority must be given to the presidential candidate. And the police cannot dictate. The police is not looking for votes. Their role is to ensure security. But it should not, and it should never dictate which route to take unless there's a clear priority. And secondly, the Electoral Commission it is not sufficient for them to just issue a statement. The electoral process is their full responsibility. The police must act under their charge and under their guidance and not be left to do what they're doing.
That is Ogenga Latigo. Ogenga Latigo is telling the truth. In fact, if you're in a civilized society, even if you don't like someone, let him in any area, speak, and he does his campaign. If you feel like he's lying, also make a campaign countering what he said. Democracy is a contestation of ideas, but these people prepare an election where they don't want competitors. In fact, I keep on telling people that Genome 7 is a petty dictator. You'd rather be like Lee Kuan Yew, a dictator in Singapore, who can curtail my freedom of speech, but at the end of the day deliver Singapore to a first world country in just a small window and period of time. You'd rather be like Deng Xiaoping from 1970s, the Great Leap, okay, who delivered China to a first world country within under 20 years after curtailing my freedom of speech. But how can you tell me that you curtail my freedom of speech, my freedom of assembly, freedom against anything, but also fail to deliver the country we are supposed to be? So it was a combination of very many things. In fact, as very many people came out to accuse Martin Ojala Mapenduzi about the hooliganism. Okay, in politics it can be possible because even these members of parliament, especially the NRM, never wanted Gulu to produce any opposition. In fact, even in the race where Norbert Mao was running, they had to remove an independent candidate. It is the truth. Ojala Mapenduzi came out to deny that he's the one who orchestrated chaos. In fact, he said this statement:
"We build this city with you together. There is nothing you gain from destroying it. Destroying a city doesn't mean carrying your anhole and digging the tarmac. Destroying the city is not only the looting that some of these criminals did. even how you report about this city has a lot of damage to cause. So I have seen some people who want to create a picture as if this city is a bad city. In every city, there are bad people. And bad people must be dealt with according to the law. And we should not encourage lawlessness. We shouldn't do that.
That is Ojera Mapenduzi. But it is also wrong for Ojera Mapenduzi to come out and say that he never prepared the chaos. Yet in the day when Bobi Wine was going to make campaigns, he had a football match and he's coming out to deny. Because in the statement he came out to say that he has just organized a gala for border borders. In politics, nothing is done by mistake. Since border borders help Bobi Wine's campaign to get bribe, they tend to bribe them when he's going to come in a district. In fact, Ojera Mapenduzi said this.
And so my program with the border borders on Saturday had nothing to do with NUP, had nothing to do with Honorable Robert Chagulanyi's program in Gulu. I have no business with this party. I have no business with this activity. He's a duly nominated presidential candidate. He has a right constitutionally to be in any part of the country as programmed by the Electoral Commission, and that is it. So his coming to Gulu on Saturday was legal, was within the electoral laws, and there was no need to have any form of scuffle or violence. But how the police or the army or the thugs, how they handle it, the people responsible must account for it. And for me, the police is charged with the duty of maintaining law and order.
That is Ojera Mapenduzi. So you cannot tell me that on a Saturday when Bobi Wine is going to come is when you organize the border borders. So I think I may be wrong. The chaos was perpetrated by sitting members or members of the NRM like MAO and Ojera Mapenduzi, but also facilitated by Salim Saleh, because part of these people were beating people hid under the army, SFC and police without them being touched. Imagine if those people were attacking General Kaguta Museveni's rally. Do you know what may have happened? So we are under dictatorship. That does not want the advantageous views, but we must continue pressing hard so that we can fight for our rights. Of course, that's my opinion. Remain yours truly, Mr. Makinde, Kavi Sulaiman Mawagal. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more of such videos. I'll see you on another one. Peace.